to have this forum and see these young people here, because I know at Stadium Stompers, we've been thinking about how we can get young people involved, and to see now young people reaching out saying, hey, we want to fix this, is just, it warms my heart, because at the same time, we're trying to reach back and fix it too, because it is something that is being built to separate us. So.
We're going to have to go to wrapping up. We hosted it as an hour-long meeting, and as far as this is just a question here, as we're inventing these forums, my feeling is that maybe an hour is a little bit too short. Maybe we should go for a little longer, like an hour and a half. What do people think about that? Let me try to wrap this, sort of start bringing things together and look at action items going forward. Go ahead.
To speak on what you said, I have a question. Why do they tell y'all not to speak to us? Like, there's nothing wrong with us. We're not animals. We act the way we act. We're just like that. North Philly is a family. Is what I see, that we're a family, but we're not animals. We're white. Like,
because if the Temple community actually had empathy for the people that they're moving, if the Temple students actually had empathy for the people that are being moved out, they wouldn't be able to build a stadium and profit from it.
So another question, sorry. But do you feel some type of, well, I feel some type of way that y'all just pushing my people out of their houses just to build y'all houses. So where are we supposed to live? Right? Where are we supposed to live? When y'all move in and they tell us, oh, we have to leave, where are we going to go in that short period of 10 days that they'll give us?
I ain't got the answer, Sway.
Here's what I think we've heard on this side of the table. I think we've heard from our youth experts. They're talking with pride about their community. Their community has strengths. There's relationships, there's friendships, there's neighbors, there's families, there's connections, there's history. This is where they come from. This is a strength as far as they're concerned. And they're looking to be respected. And they're looking to be visible within their own community. I think we're hearing that on that side, and I think that we're hearing very, very strongly on this side agreement with that there should be respect for the community in which the college is existing, the college students are there, and the college students should be aware of the community, and they should be respectful of the community. Now, going forward, and future things, let's just take 2 minutes here and try to, without doing too much speechifying. What are some quick suggestions of actions that we should take together?
I have a question before we get to that. And that's going to tie in, my question is going to tie into where you're going in terms of action plans, right? But it would be wrong for us to be at the Church of the Advocate and not mention the word activism, right? So even if you're talking about action plans, that's not quite activism. And so, especially when we're talking about a situation where we recognize that it's not about the students or the residents in the community, and it's not about the students at Temple University. It's really about the administration at Temple, right? That's where the current struggle is. And so I'm wondering then, what does the word activism mean to this group, and how would it be practiced or how would it be realized in this particular situation? And I would ask the same question of the Temple University students. What does it mean for us to be activists, and how do we go about and try to change the condition? It's not just about people saying hello to each other. Let's not fall for that. That's not the issue. Right? The issue is much larger than that. And I think that we're doing our young people a disservice if we don't mention, or we don't accentuate that as a point. So I'm just wondering, how does activism tie into this? And if you don't want to discuss this, it's fine, but let's talk about it at the next forum, because that's at the heart of who we are. Right? It's not just, we're not just lifting up problems, but we're talking about how can we change organizations and institutions.
Who wants to tackle that? Is that you, Jameer, down there? You can tackle it?
Activism ties into this, sort of in this way, but also in us taking the ideas that we create in this forum and taking the all the like criticism that Temple gets and all the criticism that maybe they might give to us, and implementing a plan, actually going through with it and actually doing something about it. Because a lot of people talk about they want to change this, they want to change that, but they don't do it. And a lot of people talk about it, but they don't do anything. And a lot of it is adults. But like adults say they want to do stuff, but then they never get around to it. And it might be because they have jobs, they have other things to do. But we as kids don't really have that much to do other than school and maybe sports. And we have a lot of ideas because we see things from a different perspective. So I think us going out and like trying to fix these things ourselves, but having like adult support and having adult backup like we do with this leadership forum, it's a good way to start. And I mean, it's not going to happen in a week, it's not going to happen in a month, it might not happen in a year, but like as we continue, a lot will change.
Let's hear something from the Temple students, the Temple side. What about activism? How do we work against it? How do we change the institution? How do you help to change the institution from the inside?
Coming from my perspective, I have noticed that there are two poles as far as activism goes. There's the pole that believes that every single action is valid, and there's the pole that believes only direct and organized action will work. I know that some people leaning towards the first pole sometimes may find direct organized action to be overwhelming. However, that shouldn't deter anyone from doing any small thing, such as correcting your father when he makes a comment that mischaracterizes North Philadelphia. It's a can of worms, it's a bandage to rip off the wound. It's your father, it's your mother, it's your best friend, but discourse needs to stay alive. And I believe the two poles can agree on that one fact, that in order to be I believe activism is all about persistence, consistency, and in order to do that, we need to keep the discourse alive. We can't just do, and I've been guilty of this myself, I can't just do one walkout. This has to be a consistent thing, a forward-moving project. And I also wanted to say to Naya particularly, the legacy that Temple advertises to us is exactly what you are all about. So if they act like you are not good enough to continue their legacy, I want you to keep telling them about themselves. Because keep the discourse alive. You are very deserving of continuing this legacy because people like you are what they say we are all about and what we should be all about. So I would say activism, however someone feels comfortable exercising it, even though I strongly advocate that people go farther than their comfort levels in order to continue this growing project. But I think as far as I'm concerned, keeping the discourse alive will help keep the movement alive.
We're talking about activism, and I think one thing that Temple has done in the past that I was a bad experience that was really effective was block cleanups. And Temple student government sponsored a couple of them, more so last year. I don't remember seeing any this semester, but a bunch of us went out and we helped pick up the neighborhood. And I was actually kind of surprised. The panel over there mentioned a lot of how the residents were trashing the area, and I was assuming that the students were going to get blamed for that, because I think it's rightly so that they should be blamed for trashing the area. So I think things like block cleanups, where students go about pick up the community, is really important, especially because when we did it, we actually got to meet a lot of the residents and the local residents who lived there their whole lives, and they came out almost surprised and shocked, and they were starting to talk to us, and they were so happy to see us out there picking up the community and picking up the trash. And I think that's a perfect way. It's like talking activism, literally doing something. I think ideal situation would be to set up block cleanups where residents and students are involved at the same exact time. This is not so much just look at us, look at what we're doing for you, but hey, how can we actually come together, do something together?
I can say something really making me kind of sad that on this side of the panel, I have a community. But one of the girls said that she wasn't necessarily interested in going to temple just because of the community. And I work at Parker Elementary, as I mentioned, right down the street. And I always ask the kids, have you ever been to temple? And these are like kids that are like in 8th, 7th, and 8th grade. I'm like, have you actually been on Temple's campus? Like, you talk about wanting to go to temple, but have you actually stepped foot on the campus and seen everything that the campus has to offer? Like, no, I just don't care. Like, I'm just not going there. And I think that I said, you know what, you don't have to do it myself. I'll organize it on the weekend and we'll walk around and we'll take a tour of temple. Because, like, it's crazy to me that you live in North Philly, you go to school in North Philly, and you've never been on Temple's campus. That's crazy to me. So I think little things like that will make a difference, and just to help them see if it takes one person to show them that Temple is not necessarily as bad as you think it is. There's always going to be those students that aren't going to act right or not treat you respectfully, but there are those students that will go the extra mile to make you feel included and try to make you feel important and show that Temple is trying their best. So I just think that's really important, and that's a way that I would go out of my way to make the kids feel included in this community.
Let me ask a question. You're talking about how you have orientations and there's discussion about where to go to and where not to go to in the neighborhood. In those orientations, is there also discussions that of presenting the idea that you're living in someone's neighborhood? I mean, what do you the sense of a lot of Temple students, do you think that they really think about the fact that they're living in someone's neighborhood?
I remember I don't know if it was specifically at orientation, I don't know if it was specifically at my orientation because that was 4 years ago for me, but I do remember a couple times they at least mentioned, be like, hey, you know, when you guys are partying, keep in mind that you're partying right next to someone who's lived there for 20 years. So I do remember it being mentioned at least once, but there's a difference between like saying, hey, it's not a great idea, but then not taking any steps to actually control it.
Well, taking it another step further, if from an administrative point of view, there isn't a communication that Temple students are living in people's neighborhoods, how can students, student government, etc., communicate that idea to their peers that they're living in there? There's an action right there of communicating to your peers that you're living in someone else's neighborhood. And actually, to be quite honest about it, you're a guest in the community. And that they're, you know, good guests have good guest manners. How can that be communicated?
I think one easy way, I don't talk the mic, but I think one easy way would be for Temple student government, for example. Temple student government has meetings, I believe every week, where, not every week, at least every month, where all the different organizations on Temple's campus go to that meeting. And so something very simple, very attainable to do would be to mention that at that forum, at that meeting, and then they can then those representatives who go to the meeting and then pass it the word you know, down the line.
Yeah, I think I've identified two specific actions going forward. That the idea of let's continue a conversation going forward with ideas as an action of how we can go about communicating the idea that Temple students live in a neighborhood and that they should be aware of the neighborhood and that they should be good neighbors in the neighborhood. And the second thing is, what can students do more if it's not happening from administration to welcome neighborhood youth onto the campus and make them feel comfortable on the campus, whereas opposed to that they feel like they're being watched or they're uncomfortable going on it or they don't go on to it. So that there's like two potential actions in this direction. Now, our leadership team here, what actions can we take on here that we think that we should pursue? Of getting to make better connections with Temple students in the neighborhood.
I think that we should try to organize like not a program, but an event that has
kids from the community include some type of solution, and like how we're having it here and talking about the disconnects, we should have like not no one from ALC program should have like kids like how want to hear how they think something. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
I hear what you're saying. I think what we're saying is, as an activity in our youth leadership, that an activity go back to start as an action to work on how they can work on better connections. I think we have 3 connections there. We'll keep up the connections. I really appreciate everybody coming out tonight. It's just an opening dialogue. We hope we continue on with the dialogues. I appreciate your patience. We're running over time of sticking with us and being here with an audience. I think it's been a great night. I think our team over here did a great job. We're going to keep on working on it. We're going to have everybody be a chatty person next time around. Thank you all. It's been great. Hope to see you next time around.